I guess it is time to write my story. Even if it will stir up some bad feelings inside, I must do it to relinquish some of the venom I feel inside. Bear with me and the way I write, considering English is not my first language. I am almost 40. My ex-wife is 39. She became my ex-wife exactly 6 months ago. In the middle of November last year, she sat me down and told me she fell out of love, that she wants a divorce, that she still loves me but is not in love with me. This was after 18 years of being together and 11 married. She was serious. My wife and I met 18 years ago during college. We graduated together and dated for 7 years until 2012. We began our life together, getting jobs, working, and spending time together. She even waited for me when I went for 2 years to begin police training. At graduation, I received a post somewhere in the rural area, far away from my city. That meant that I could only come home at the end of the week. 2 years after, I asked her to marry me. I was clumsy and emotional. I wanted to do a big and romantic gesture, but ruined it. Still, she said yes, and she made me the happiest man. We moved together in a small flat until the wedding, with the intention that after we would buy an apartment. But life had this knack to kick you when you least expect it. We lived in that small flat for more than a year until we had to move in with her parents. We stayed with my in-laws until 2015, when my daughter was born. A beautiful child with blue eyes and a flock of red hair, unlike me and her mother. I know in my very bones she is my daughter. I wouldn't accept anything else. We moved to our own apartment in 2016. It was a rush job. My wife was sick and tired to live with her parents and wanted her own life. I wanted to as well, but just being cautious. It hurt a little when she gave the down payment without consulting me about the apartment she found, but I was at my station and couldn't see it, and she paid from fear of losing it. Either way, it didn't bother me that much. As long as she was happy and liked the apartment, I could make anything out of it to be a home, our home. But that meant money, and for the time being, we were out of financial resources. To renovate the apartment meant financial sacrifices and long hours of work. For a few years, some rooms were just closets to store things. Then, slowly, things began to move. Time passed, and I got paid better. I closed some loans and renovated another room and different improvements in the house. Working in 8-hour shifts helped me be next to my family, even if I commuted 3 hours to my post every day. Sometimes we fought, not big arguments, but fired up. I was always asking her to be more affectionate towards me. I wanted a sign that she loves me and appreciates me. She always replied that that's her way of being. She loves me and has feelings for me, but it is hard for her to show them. We were both introverts. In time, I became more of a people person. I came out of my shell, and I like to think that I helped her do that too, to a certain degree, because she was still more of a silent type, but could very easily socialize when she felt comfortable. Sometimes during our arguments, she would end them asking for a divorce. I always thought that she did that to hurt me, but now I see that was always in her heart. Now thinking back, I don't ever remember her telling me she loves me out of the blue. She always said it after I would tell it to her, but never from her own free will. Or that she appreciates what I do. In the summer of 2022, I moved posts as I passed an interview. I came home on a leading post, being paid better. Also, my shifts changed to 12 hours on, 24 hours off, then 12 hours on, 48 hours off, which meant a lot of spare time to be with my family. I did chores in the house like any other husband would do. I took my daughter to the park, fed her, dressed her, put her to bed, and did groceries. Because my salary was way bigger than hers, I took all the financial problems onto me and left the household expenditures to her. It was working. We were a team. Although sometimes when from month to month I would struggle financially, I kept it to myself. Sometimes the dread of not being able to cover our mortgage was so overwhelming that I felt like I was breathing fire. That is why when she found a new job with a little pay raise, we consulted and decided to go for it. Even if it was just for a year, it was good to build more diverse experience in the work field. It's a company from the United States with a branch in my country and some offices in my hometown. I told her I support whatever decision she will make, and even if after that year she won't have that job anymore, we will struggle a bit, but we'll make it from my salary. Another good side was that she would work a lot from home. In the beginning, I saw her struggle. I guess there were a lot of new terms and terminology and new information she needed to absorb. So I tried to help the best way I can by giving her time and freedom. After a night shift, 12 hours in patrol, I would come home early in the morning, stuff myself with coffee, and took my daughter to school. I stayed awake because in a few hours I had to go to take her from school. Then bring her home, change her clothes, feed her, take her to the park, put her to rest for a few hours. Sometimes, not all the times, I prepared dinner. I washed dishes, even if putting them in the washing machine doesn't qualify as a grand effort. I did laundry when she was overwhelmed.
As I said, we were a team. Her during the night, me during the day. Me during the work week, her during the weekend when I worked. When our schedules coincided and we had a free weekend, we tried to make something nice. I would always let her pick what she would like to do because I wanted it to be something relaxing for her. But it is hard with an 8-year-old daughter that only wants in parks and to meet with her classmates or friends. But we did things together as a family. Even when we went to a vacation, I would let her pick the place, mountain or seaside. And I was always scolded for not choosing the place where to go, for not organizing things. In the middle of 2023, something shifted inside her. I don't know what. At that time, I didn't feel it. I always thought that it was stress from her new job. I was walking like on eggshells around her, and she became more distant than her usual self. Also, because my shifts sometimes start early in the morning, way early, I moved into another room and let my wife and my daughter sleep in the master bedroom. And apparently I snore and she has a light sleep. But I didn't mind, although my daughter always asked me to sleep next to her because she doesn't mind that I snore. Our partnership became more like a roommate situation. I would work, pay bills, and give my wife free time by staying with our daughter and taking care of our home. Don't get me wrong, she did a lot of stuff around the house and cooked, as did I, maybe more than me. But also she would choose to spend some time alone for herself instead of spending it with us. I understood back then that she needed her time and her freedom, and I never banned that. She needed to go to a girls' night out. I flipped my shift and stayed at home. Company Christmas party? I had a wonderful doll party with my daughter. But I missed her. She asked me why don't I go into town with my friends as a compensation, but I did not want that. I wanted time and attention from her. She never understood that. She said I was too clingy. Sometimes when I woke up early in the morning, I would have set my alarm 10 minutes before my normal time just to sneak into her bed next to her and our daughter and hold them. In time, all my affection signs became a nuisance to her, I guess. She never showed otherwise. I guess a lot of this is my fault. I couldn't see the forest because of the trees. It is a saying in my language. I was caught up in building us a home and stability. I forgot to appreciate her, to bring her flowers. I forgot to make her unexpected presents. And the ones that I was making weren't the best. I forgot to take her to vacations, to be unexpected. And she stopped investing in me or fighting for me. Or maybe that was long before. I didn't know anymore. I saw her drifting away from our family. Me and our daughter would go out at the park. She would choose to go out at random walks or with her bicycle. And I was okay with that. I hope that it is what makes her happy, helping her decompress after a long week of work. So in November, she told me she wants a divorce because we became roommates and she has no feelings for me. She shattered my entire heart into little pieces. I know her, and I knew this time was serious, not just to hurt me. She said she felt this way a few years but did not know how to end things. She believed we would be happier apart than together. Anything I would say, she would spin it into a reason to break up, to divorce. For a week, I did the pick-me-up dance. I tried to talk with her, to reason with her. I proposed to go to counseling with her. Nothing. She was adamant.
I told her I would fight to win her heart back, to be the man she fell in love with. I ignored my friends' and family's idea that it is about someone else. I could not believe it and accept that the person I dedicated my life to, with which I wanted to grow old, could be such a person. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I cried. I lost more than 8 kilograms, almost 18 pounds during that week, and I am kind of a skinny guy, even now in my 40s. So after a week, seeing her sleeping during nights without any remorse and with tranquility, I told her I was still set to win her back, but I cannot do that if she allowed someone else in her heart. And that is when she came clean. It was a coworker, older than her, she said, who has kids of his own. It was an emotional affair for 2 months, and it became physical. That made her decide to leave our family. During that night, I stayed awake and made a profile of what kind of guy he could be. I used all my knowledge gathered during 14 years in uniform. In the morning, I gave it to her, and after reading, she laughed it off. I know now I should have used the fog she was in to throw her out of our house. She even offered to leave, and during an argument later on, she redacted that she would have taken our daughter with her. But at that time, I decided to leave. It was the best for my daughter to make the transition easier. On the 1st of December 2023, I left our home. In that morning, I took her phone while she was in the bathroom and unlocked it because my daughter had shown me the pattern to unlock it the night before. I found her messages with this guy. I took some photos of them. I couldn't see straight and I was shaking uncontrollably. Some of them came out blurred. They didn't just have an affair. They were kind of living together. When she said she was going to her office, even after one of my night shifts, she would go to him. Working remotely allowed her to do her work from his place and cheat. I was surprised that she could be so attentive with this guy, showing him affection, and towards me, not giving the time of day. I mean, she could message this bastard early in the morning with kissing emojis, but couldn't give 2 shits about me during an entire shift. Not even a message. I was in a very bad place. I was worryingly thin. I gave a scare to my mother-in-law, and she thought that I was ill. I couldn't bear to tell her what her daughter did. But I left. I retreated to my parents. It was the worst Christmas and New Year's Eve. It was the beginning of a mess. I visited my daughter each day, or every other day, in my own apartment while I was still paying the mortgage. During that time, my daughter told me about Mommy's coworker that visited them in the park and played with her. And I was on fire. Literally, it was like I was breathing venom each breath. So I did a simple background check on this guy as much as I was permitted without breaking the law. He was 8 years older than her, was married twice, and during his second marriage, he had a child, a daughter the same age as mine, born in 2015, but with a third woman. 3 years after, he divorced and fathered another 2 boys with this third woman, but without marrying her. He left her when his youngest was 1 year old. His Facebook page is empty, just a picture of a snail and of a sunset, and a message, during the period I guessed he left his family. I did not know how to search him on different other online sites, apps, and stuff like that, but found his LinkedIn profile. So, we decided to divorce. I don't think there was ever a chance of reconciliation. During my visits, we argued. Lots of gaslighting. It appears it is all my fault. I am not what she thought I would be. I don't know her. I don't know who she is. She married too young and hasn't experienced life as she should. It was not fair that she only knew one man during her life. I always projected her as to be a person she is not.
that she wants her freedom and independence, etc., etc. She said